We're going to join the action in the opening frame. Dale is leading 28-6 with Ding at the table. Your commentators, Clive Everton and Neil Folds.
I think Dominic's going to be forced into taking on this long red. Might have a way back to bulk, actually.
Paul Collier is the referee. Has refereed a couple of World Championship finals. Well, he committed to that, but has left Ding right in.
Yeah, it did look like there was a way back down the table from that shot, but I guess you only get back down the table if you get the pot. If you miss it, then the cue ball's going to swing off unpredictably. Ding is one of the great break builders in the game. We would always say O'Sullivan, of the players that are in action this week, is the best, and maybe the best we've seen, although of the other players around, we saw Neil Robertson make over 100 centuries last season, which was a phenomenal effort. I think Ding is as good as anybody else, though. Heavy scorer.
He's made 5 maximums in his total of 372 tournament centuries.
It's a pretty rotten shot there that he's played, though. It's absolute no man's land he's finished. He seemed to stun it. A little bit low on the cue ball. It was almost a stun run through.
8.
Goodness me, to finish there, that is the worst place he could have finished. Look at the reds lined up to the right corner. That was a terrible shot.
Junhui 8.
Yes, exactly where he wanted it, to cover the red to right middle.
Well, that was any good thing about Ding's last visit to the table, the fact that his safety shot put Dominic in trouble.
I think Dale intended to hit that much thicker to leave the cue ball near the black cushion. But Ding is edgy, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, just the word I was going to use, actually. Nowhere near this.
Ding has made 4 obvious mistakes in this frame, so looking at it that way, this is a frame that Dale has to win.
Well, his record against Ding Junhui is not very good. The first time they met, Dominic won way back in 2004 in the UK Championship, but Ding's won the last 5 times they've met since then. It does play on a player's mind slightly.
Well,
Dominic Dale 6.
a catalogue of errors on both sides this opening frame.
Yes, and the other thing is that players make mistakes when the balls go scrappy and awkward, but the Reds have been beautifully placed throughout.
One.
So you're right, Clive. If Ding wins the frame, Dominic will already be thinking about what's gone before.
Ding's season got off to a poor start. He treated himself to an extended holiday in the Seychelles, I believe, with his girlfriend Apple. Came back underprepared for the one match he had to play in the Wuxi Classic at Barnsley. That's to get into the tournament proper in his home city, Wuxi City. But that lack of preparation cost him dear, and he was taken to the cleaners 5-0 by
8.
a promising young amateur from Yorkshire, Oliver Brown.
It was always going to be difficult for him to recapture what he achieved last season with all those ranking tournament victories, 5 of them, record equalling, but I expected better from Ding from what we've seen this year. Of course, he lost to an amateur as well in the International, so he didn't play in Chengdu last week. I'm sure that would not make his followers in China very happy that he didn't play in those 2 tournaments.
15.
The system is going to be changed so that the world champion and China's #1 will play all their matches in China. They won't have to play one round in England
22.
at somewhere like Barnsley.
Yeah, I would say that as world champion, you've certainly earned the right to be at each of the venues, not only for the players, but for the people that follow the game.
29.
As far as Ding is concerned, well, whether a Chinese player should be exempt, I don't know. Plenty of wild cards and plenty of opportunities like that, but either way, if you get Ding playing in Chinese tournaments, that's got to be good for the game.
That's another shot that Ding hasn't played perfectly by any means. Got into the cue ball a bit too sharply, and instead of finishing on the pink somewhere between 3/4 ball and straight, he's got a half ball cut.
Yeah, I think you're right about it getting into the cue ball too much. He did that earlier when he fell out of position. I think the table is very lively. And that's quite a good recovery, but he's got to play another shot to keep the break going. Well, he's just got to make sure he doesn't lose position here. I think he'll get the putter right. And he's asking for something. Extended rest, I think.
We have at last seen the back of the old half butts with an ancient crusty tip on the end of them.
Yeah, good shot.
37.
Played in a few clubs where there's no tip on them at all. Never mind a crusty old one. Just feel that he's just getting to grips with the table now.
43.
Whatever the practice tables are like, I'm sure they're excellent, but the match table always play livelier, more response.
44.
And once Ding gets into his stride, he's got a beautiful touch.
So we arrive at frame ball.
Yes, and he's just making sure of that. He knows he can
51.
drop this in. He may just stun it in onto the black, but the harder you hit these, the more chance of missing them. Although it was never going to happen. He played it right,
52.
though. I agree with how he played it, making sure of the red. Dominic knows he should have won this frame.
Ding Junhui, 52.
Well, had the black dropped, Dale would have resigned himself to losing the frame. But it is worth playing on,
2.
even though Dale needs 2 4-point snookers to win, 1 5-point snooker to tie.
Clive, he might play in up to the pink here. Look where the black is. It's perfect for
5.
getting a snooker. This frame is not over. And the 6-point penalty, like you say, would be enough to win the frame. That black is exactly where you'd put it if you were looking to get a snooker. Get in behind there nicely. Problem with playing a snooker on the pink and black, you might only get one chance to get it right. The opponent will then roll the pink over the
Right.
pocket or in. But I think he's got a chance here.
$14.
Not perfect.
No, it doesn't look very good at all. If you can avoid any kind of a double kiss, you could possibly just creep in behind the black. It's not a natural, that's for sure. Be careful he doesn't hit the pink on the way back up, I think. Oh, didn't he come close to it? That was unlucky. He didn't play a very good shot on the
14.
blue. That was a good opportunity to get a snooker.
And it's also against him that he's knocked the black tight to the cushion. As it was, though,
Ding Junhui, 6. And a
Ding
frame.
slotted in the pink from distance and therefore leads after an error-strewn opening frame by a frame to nil.
Welcome back to the Ricoh Arena. Ding Junhui took the opening frame against Dominic Dale with a break of 52. Things didn't get any better for the Welshman in the second when a very poor safety attempt went horribly wrong. Not even a poppy malfunction from the Chinese player was going to stop him. Ding took a very scrappy second frame, 79-2, to take a 2-0 lead in the first of 4 contests. We're going to rejoin it at the start of the third frame. Dominic Dale to break.
Frame 3. Dominic Dale to break.
Dominic Dale trails Ding Junhui by 2 frames to 0. So unless he starts soon, he might not be able to start at all. Hit it much too thick, and because he hit it thick, there was very little run on the cue ball.
Yeah, I don't think you can do an awful lot else there, but just hold for that red. He's queuing awkwardly, but he should be okay. Got to put his bridge hand somewhere. There's a whole pack of reds in the way, but he's found a spot. And looking for an angle on the black. Interestingly played up the table. As he judged it, it's probably straight, but that's not so bad.
$14. 15.
Can do some damage off this shot. The angle he has this time on the black. Can't really go into the bunch. He's got to try and push one of those 3 reds into the bunch, I suspect. That's well played. In turn, shifting them out of the way.
22.
I think the next shot, though, is the crucial one. If he gets an angle onto his next colour, it can go into the bunch. Just not quite getting to grips with this bed of the table. It's the way it's running, the speed of it. Underhitting, overhitting.
In a word, he's lacking just that bit of touch.
I think he can get to that right-hand red, but he wanted the angle to go into them. There you can see, nothing to play with there. It's a very odd way to play the shot, but I tell you what, it's absolutely brilliantly judged. Now, talking about
28.
Not getting to grips with the table, that was, you couldn't see a shot played any better. Can't think of too many players that would have played it that way. Reverse side, deep screw.
29.
Dale fearing that he's going to be sitting in that chair for a while longer. Ding's last shot has brought 1 red out into a very promising position.
I just wonder if he'd think about playing on the black here with the red down the cushion as well. He could conceivably make this to a chance to get the black onto its own spot. probably has other options. There is a chance he might play on the black. He's gone to the bottom of the cue ball. That's an even better shot, actually.
35.
He knew he had the pink there. And he's developed about 3 or 4 reds, so that was clever.
That's an instance of where the top players really show their class, keeping position while opening the bunch.
$41. $42.
Ding's already played 2 shots developing the bunch. This could be another.
That's okay.
48.
Hasn't got to do a lot with the cue ball here either. The fact that he can hold for the pink makes the pot much easier on the red.
49.
Won't have to play any more developing shots. There are
55.
already enough reds possible for him to secure the frame without moving any of them.
$56. $62.
That's a beauty. Well, this match has been all about the first frame, I think. He should have won it, and since then, he's left the door open. Another great shot all of a sudden. He's starting to play very well.
70.
Confidence is coming back. Hasn't played a lot of snooker lately, which
71.
in the modern era of this game, you don't hear that said very often.
Well, perhaps that accounted for Ding's tentative start. we won't be seeing a century
77.
from him by the look of it. But 77 is more than enough.
Junhui 77 on the frame.
Dale remains in his chair. Ding Junhui's 77 is sufficient to extend his lead to 3-0.
Welcome back. Dominic Dale is really struggling against Ding Junhui. He is one frame from exiting this year's Champion of Champions at the first hurdle. We rejoin the action in frame 4. Dale at the table, leading by 1.
Well, he's bettered that stat of 29%. But while it was a good shot, he says he didn't fancy it very much, because look where he's finished with the cue ball.
Green ball.
Did well to get back there, actually, from that angle. It wasn't very straight. Another little gentle one up in behind the green. That's fine.
Dominic Dale 1.
Well, that's 2 very good long pots for 2. No colour in either case.
Foul. And a miss. Dominic Dale 4.
Now I wonder whether Dominic has got a red that he'll go at, so he won't ask for the balls to be replaced. Oh, this is very awkward. Could push this if you're not careful. That's the alternative. He's so frightened of pushing a shot like that that you can do what he did, just completely miss-hit it.
Yes, he raised the butt of the cue to minimise the risk of the push shot, but still no joy.
Yeah, we've all done that on those shots. Just can't quite get in behind the shot very easily.
Well,
he may have played his last shot, actually. It's a great chance, Ding growing in confidence. Now he's getting rid of the only awkward red. Not awkward to pot, but awkward with
6.
getting the black out into the open, so Dominic in trouble.
7.
Might have the shot to disturb a few reds if he wants to, but he's always got the red over the pocket or near the pocket. Just feel that this is an opportunity to maybe just go into the bunch, spread a few reds out. That's nicely done.
$14. 15.
I always think to play the opening match of a tournament can be a fairly nervy affair, and I think it was at the beginning. Nobody wants to be the first man out on the first day.
22.
Looking like it's going to be poor old Dominic. As we said, the first frame seemingly more important than it seemed at the time, because Dominic had 3 or 4 good chances to win it. Not so many since then.
23.
Well, in fact, since that opening frame, Dale has potted only 4 balls. 2 of them in this frame.
$30. $31.
As we've said, this tournament being played slightly differently to others in that we play each quarter at a time. So if Ding was to win this, he'd be back this evening for a best of 11, and then he'd appear much later on in the week. In fact, at the weekend, so he'd get a nice long
38.
break.
$39.
Ding polished off the last frame with a break of 77 before he lost position. And this looks like another frame winner coming up.
$46. $47.
No, that's not a good shot. And a little stamp of the feet
54.
tells you everything you need to know. He looked a certainty to be on the red, really. Nothing was that difficult about it. He knows he should have closed out the match. He is in command, but it doesn't alter the fact that you've got to keep your opponent down when you've got them down. Well, Ding with a difficult shot, otherwise Dominic could come back to the table for another chance. Little cut to the middle, it's missable, this. And overcut it by a long way. Well now,
Junhui 54.
possible little twist in the tail here.
Certainly an unexpected reprieve for Dale.
One.
Oh dear. He didn't really want to be playing another one of these close-up shots. He saw what he did on the red earlier on. He might have to play. Well, can he get to
Bramble.
brown? He's very lucky to be able to reach that. It looks very close to the green. He is on the brown. He was lucky there.
Five.
All right, it's he's got an outside chance in the frame still.
Six.
Dale's hardly had a shot for the last 2.5 frames. Now he's got to try and make the best of this chance to
11.
rescue this frame and stay in the match.
Yeah, when there isn't anything
12.
awkward about the table and the position of the reds, it's just the situation that's the problem. They've got to clear them. They've had no table time. And the two reds close to each other will certainly one of them will pot
17.
into the left corner. Maybe they both will go. So just looking to get slightly above being straight on the pink to the middle, and then he can land in behind the two without doing anything difficult. That's what he looked at. Now he decides to go the other way. This is a natural. Stunning behind the two reds. As you can see, they're both lined up. That's why I think Ding was so annoyed with himself when he broke
25.
down, because he knows through experience that no match is ever over until you've just followed the final ball.
26. $32. $33.
Should still be all right, but would have been even better had the yellow been on its spot.
Yeah, letting the cue ball run around the table a bit here. That's not very well played. It really isn't. Okay, he's got a shot, but he's cueing awkwardly.
38.
He had a bit of right-hand side on that cue ball there, which he didn't want. This is not a very nice shot at all. It's quite thin. It's not a natural angle anyway, and the blue's definitely not helping. I don't think this is a very nice shot to be left at all. He's very close to touching the blue, isn't he? Goodness me.
Had to place the rest shaft at a very awkward angle there and cope with that difficulty very well.
Yeah, I don't know whether he played on the green to the middle, but it doesn't matter very much. Once again, he's not perfectly on the brown either. And this is always the last of the difficult shots when you clear the colours. Brown to blue. If he lands in behind the blue perfectly, it's frame over. It's a good effort from Dominic. Not quite
47.
right as almost typically of the frame. He's got to go all around the table. He can drop it in or play all around the table. It's going
52.
too far, I'm afraid.
Well, the good news is that he needs only the pink in addition.
Yeah, and that makes a huge difference.
Dale came to the table 48 behind, but with that splendid 58 clearance to the pink, he keeps in the match. Ding Junhui still leads though by 3 frames to 1.
Welcome back. Ding Junhui needs just one more frame to secure his place in the Group 2 final. Dale has shown good signs in frame 4 to narrow the deficit to 2 in the best of 7 frames. That continued in a very scrappy 5th frame that lasted just shy of 50 minutes. A break of 49 for the world number 24 saw the deficit down to just 1 frame. Ding Junhui was now up against it, with Dale in the ascendancy. As we rejoin the action in frame 6, it's Dale at the table, leading 45-6.
I think he has got a clear shot. Very much a containing shot there. Feel like he's hanging on by a thread in this match. Previous frame he just got over the line.
One.
Now, what headway can Dale make without the assistance of black and probably pink?
Four.
He has, however, got position on a red, which could lead to pink ball position.
Yeah, good call, Clive. I think he needs that pink back in the game. Wow, it just flicked the first jaw. I thought it would drop.
Dominic Dale, 5.
He probably took his eye off it, thinking it was in, looking at where the cue ball was going to finish. Just hitting that first part of the pocket and leapt up in the air. Couldn't believe it.
Could be a match-losing error, that. Ding comes to the table, 34 in front.
1.
Frustration for Dominic. Ding's not played that shot very well. I've lost count the amount of times he's finished wrong side of the blue. But he has got a red that he can get to. Hand on the table, no great problem. And really this is match ball because pink's hanging and
6.
it looks like he's going to fall over the line.
Seven.
Showing glimpses in the middle of this match that he's starting to play well with that 77 break, couple of half centuries. And I think if he does get through, which it looks like he will now, he'll be sharper tonight. But I suspect he'll need to be. Either John Higgins
13.
or Barry Hawkins will be his opponent. Dominic's had him in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, surely too many snookers now. Ding led 3-0. He was 48 in front in the fourth, only for Dale to snatch the frame with the 58 clearance to the pink. We then saw an epic frame of 50 minutes,
18.
which Dale shaded on the black, but Ding built up a useful lead in this frame, and when Dale missed what would normally be an easy red down the cushion, it was simple for Ding to complete his victory. Ding Junhui beats Dominic Dale by 4 frames to 2.
Ding Junhui progresses to the Group 4 final, but he'll have to be much more clinical than that if he's to progress further. Waiting for him there is the winner of our next match, Barry Hawkins against John Higgins.